Welcome to another episode of the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast, a show where we really like to empower other coaches and consultants to use podcasting as a way to grow their sphere of influence, to grow their audience, to get more clients, right? It's a great way to get your message out there to those who need to hear it. Now, today's guest, you need to listen to this episode, especially if you're looking for financial freedom, right? So today's guest is Jake Falcon, founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors. He has nearly 20 years in the financial services, and he really is on a mission to help people enhance their financial literacy and take control of their financial future. If you want to know how, stay tuned. So welcome to the show, Jake.
Karen, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Let's just start with your backstory. 20 years, okay. But what I really want to know is, what was the inspiration behind you helping really, like I just said there, helping people to enhance their financial literacy and take control of their financial future?
I feel like I keep answering your question in threes today, Karen, but I got three things that come to mind when you ask me that question. So number one, the real problem that I find, at least in America, I don't know how it is in the UK, but they don't teach this stuff in schools. I have a bachelor's degree, right? So I went to middle school, high school, college, and they really didn't teach things that people need to know as they're preparing and planning for retirement one day. And I have a real passion for helping people as they approach retirement and their nest egg turns into $1, $2, $3, $10 million. A lot of these people don't know how to generate income off of that. And it's a real problem because they don't know how much is enough. They don't know, they're scared. They've never rretired before. Really, still to this day, almost 20 years doing this, it's number one is to help people. But if we go way back and why I like finance, I was so funny. I must have been a nerdy kid, as I'm still nerdy now, is that I played a video game called Wall Street Kid, believe it or not, this video game. And you had to read this is a video game, a kid. I'm reading a newspaper on a video game, picking stocks. You have to go to the gym. You have to keep your spouse happy. Like you had to like basically live the life that I'm living now on a video game. And this was like, probably in the 80s. I'm talking like in the 80s, maybe early 90s is when I was playing this game.
Oh my goodness.
I loved it.
That's what people need to do now. It's funny. I had a conversation with someone not that long, it was probably last year now. And they said the problem with the kids now is that it's just too easy, isn't it, to purchase things. It's just a tap here, tap there. They don't know where their money's going. So I think it was over a Christmas period. And these kids, they're not kids anymore. They're adults, right? His adult children. But he said, we're going to play Monopoly, but with real money.
Yes.
And see how different you play the game. And you just think you're so right. This is not, and it's exactly the same here. People are not taught the right, correct things that they need to go on with their financial future. They might be learning math, but they're not really understanding APR. They're not understanding, then it's just not taught. So what was it that attracted you right in the beginning then to go into this, other than that video? Was it just that video game?
I don't know. That sparked it. And then weirdly, I have somewhat of an infatuation with compound interest. I don't know where that came from, but I love the fact that money can grow on top of itself. And it's not that I'm greedy or have a big desire for things. Today, money is important to me because it buys me time. And I'll give you an example. I pay someone to mow my lawn, right? I've got a big yard and it would take me hours every week to keep it nice and clean and look good. And the way I see it is I give money or pay money for someone to keep my lawn looking good so that I can work more and turn around and make more money and help people do what I do, which is help enhance their financial literacy or manage their money. And that's why I have this desire for compound interest in saving and investing so that I can really shape my life where I can have the most impact and then help other people around me, whether that's indirectly or directly. So I think that's where it came from. And then in college, as you're trying to figure out what you want to do for a career, I went to college just for a business major. I didn't have a very specialized idea going into college, but business finance was my most favorite subject. I was on the edge of my seat with my calculator and my pen, taking notes and doing the calculations. So I have this social aspect and true ability to help people. Couple that with my natural curiosity of financial markets and the way investing and saving works. And that's why this doesn't work for me at all. My financial plan says I'm going to retire at 70 and I'm 44 years old. And I'll probably be able to retire far sooner than that, but I don't know I drive my wife crazy. I don't know what I would do. So this is what I want to do. And I get to do this every day. I don't have to do that. I get to come into work, put on the full suit, help people with their finances.
Love
And it's
that.
a lot of, and enhancing financial literacy is a big passion of mine because people, believe it or not, you'd be surprised. People are multimillionaires out there and they are still very scared and nervous about retirement because they've never been taught it.
No,
Never been taught it.
absolutely. So what is it you do? You must have a particular process on how you help these people get that result. So yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And we've coined it called the signature planning process, right? So it's 2 meetings. They're both complementary and important confidential, right? So we don't share your information with any other service or anywhere. But we really drill down with these potential clients and we help them frame up what their goals and objectives are. And we have these conversations with people. So yeah, we'll look at your balance sheet and all cash flow, your income and all that stuff that's important. But I like to ask questions in this first meeting of why is money important to you? Or maybe when is your first memory of money? Or what does retirement look like? If you're not, we call it the Tuesday at 10 a.m. test. If it's Tuesday and 10 a.m. and you're not going to work, what are you doing? What are you going to do? What does that look like? And so this is what that first meeting, so it's really about 80-20 where the potential client talks 80% of the times and I'm asking questions just to understand where the heck are they? Where do they want to go? And let's help them solve that pain in the middle of how to get there. And that's what I'm really trying to flesh out is figure out where's the pain and how can we help solve that. And then the second meeting is where we present our observations. We crunch all the numbers. Hopefully we've had a really good first meeting where we've heard them loud and clear and we help them develop this plan. Now, the big mistake is people think that this plan is a map where it's a roadmap of what they need to do. It doesn't work that way because a week after we meet, their life could suddenly change and everything we did is out the window. So my point is it's a starting point of an ongoing dialogue and an ongoing conversation that we have. And that's why we call it the signature planning process because it's signature, it's unique to them, but it's a process and it's not something that's just done once. We have to continuously update and review and change this plan. So to this day, I've got a team of 18 people and we've got around almost 900 clients, but I love having this first meeting is what I prefer to be in because I love meeting new people and helping them establish some of the framework for this plan.
Love that. And do you find that when you ask questions like that, most people, or I shouldn't say most, but a lot of people haven't even thought about it because it's almost like we're just not meant to dream. You're so entrenched into your day to think about what you would do if you could and you didn't have to go to work. A lot of people are like, don't know what I would do, which can be a problem, right? This is where we see people decline sometimes if they hit retirement. They're like, I've got no purpose.
Yes.
Because they haven't planned, they haven't prepped and made a decision on how they'd like to be spending their day if they didn't go to work.
Exactly. And yet purpose is a huge topic that we talk about. And you're right. I think we're taught to get an education or learn a trade or a skill, and you go and work and you save. And a lot of people don't even know why they're saving. To your point, I'm told I need to save, but I don't really know why. And then they never really dream. I would challenge you, Karen. What is your 10 a.m.? What are you going to do at 10 a.m. on Tuesday if you're not recording podcasts?
I'm down that beach. I'm a bit of a, yeah, that's been my goal. I've traveled a lot in my younger years and as an empty nester, and because I do what I do, I can work from anywhere. I'm from London, so I became an empty nester. So I've been traveling around the UK. I'm down in Cornwall at the moment with a bestie because it's on the beach. I'm right by the coast. And then in a couple of months, I'm off to Mexico for the winter.
Wow.
Because luckily, because this industry allows me to, it's not a holiday, Jake, right? I'm still going to be working as I'm doing here, but it's allowing me that freedom to travel and meet new people, and it's still going to grow the business. So for me, I'm a little bit the same. It's because I love what I do. Will I retire? I don't know. Who knows? Because we do need something that we've got to aim for. And luckily, this kind of industry allows, I don't think it really matters how old I am if I'm still doing this, right? I'm still just meeting new people, just having conversations. What's not to love? But if I can go and travel and see as many places as I can fit in my lifetime, then yes, that's definitely the thing on my list. But everyone's different, right?
That's right. Good for you, Karen. That's awesome. I'm curious then, though. So why is money important to you?
Because plane tickets cost money for starters. And if I want to stay somewhere nice, then, it all costs money. And this is the thing, isn't it? I think some people, there's so much talk that people almost, I think some people have got a negative link to money as though it's
Sure.
something bad. But it's not the money, it's what the money can do for me or for my children, for my friends. It's you can't give from an empty cup. If you can't help or you can't give to charity if you don't have enough money coming in the
Right.
banks. It's all interlinked.
That's good. So and I love this because this is exactly the conversations I have with my clients. And so we will go down this road together, and then we'll have their balance sheet, all their assets and their liabilities and their income. And then we'll start to say, okay, this is what you want to do, and this is what it looks like. I would drill down. I'd be, how much does Mexico cost? How much would this cost? And then we try to figure all that out. And that's what's fun about what we do. And so I love it. It makes good sense.
Because you're hearing completely different stories all the time. It's not getting boring, is it? Because everybody has a unique situation and
Yes.
everybody has different goals.
Yes.
But what do you think stops people? What do you think? A lot of people won't, like you say, because they've not been taught it in school and they haven't given it any thought because they're just carrying on in their work. What is it? Why are they not coming to somebody like you so that they can retire with a bigger income? What's holding them back?
I don't know. It's inertia. It's very sad. It's the same reason people don't get healthy.
Yeah.
I think they put it on the back burner and think that it'll just take care of itself, sadly. And I think that's a problem. And that's why I'm on the mission for financial literacy. And that's why I wrote a book called Retiring. I've got a podcast that comes out every week. Like you get it, like you want to get your message out there. And we work really hard to educate people and inform them so that they recognize that they don't have to work forever if they do the right things, right? And that they can have a renewed purpose in their 60s and 70s, and they can do all those things. But maybe their purpose is to work like you and I, and that's okay too. So it's awareness. But I think the problem, sadly, is inertia. People are scared. Maybe they're sometimes a little ignorant, and they'd rather not think about it or talk about it, or they're intimidated. Like, we meet with clients or potential clients all the time, Karen, also that we may not open an account, but we will at least offer them our opinion and some advice to get them pointed in the right direction. So I don't want anybody watching or listening to this episode to think that if they don't have $2 million, they can't reach out to me. Absolutely not. You can still reach out to me and we'll meet with you and we'll do it pro bono because I'm here to help people. It's very important though. Yeah.
And do you think that's another thing, why people, I had someone on last week and he was involved in commercial real estate, right? But so people getting involved in commercial real estate would think, oh, I've got to have X amount. Oh, so that's not for me. Whereas he had some kind of fund thing where people could invest. I think the lowest amount was something like $25,000, $50,000. All of a sudden, and the only way people are going to know about this is why I love podcasting, having these conversations, because people have a perception, don't they, on what they think this looks like. And then they tell them, oh, that's not for me because I can't play in that room. I don't have the funds to pay in that room. And sometimes, it ain't necessarily. So
Exactly.
For you, what do you think, what else do you think is stopping people from taking that next step of finding out what they can do with what they've got? Because I suppose you've got to just work where you're at with what you've got. What else do you think it is?
So besides the fear and maybe ignorance or inertia, I think also, sadly, my industry has got a little bit of a tarnished reputation because of the way things were done decades ago, where many financial advisors are perceived as salespersons, and people don't necessarily trust them. And that's why I talked about it's very important that you work as a fiduciary or work with a fiduciary with your advisor. And that just means they're legally obligated to put your interest ahead of their own. And that's very important. So the industry is working hard to clean up some of those bad actors, but you've got to be an informed consumer also. But I think that's another reason is that they think if they go to an advisor, they're just going to get pitched some product that they may or may not need. So they can't fully trust them. But I think it starts with listening to podcasts, reading books, and then interviewing advisors to see, are they fiduciaries? Do you understand the program they're offering? And do you feel confident and comfortable working with that person? And that'll hopefully help you start a relationship with someone. A ton of our clients come from referrals as well. So sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask your family or friends to see if they're getting advice from someone and if they like them, and go down that road and discover that as well. But I think that's the reason. I think the industry's got a little bit of a bad reputation. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it though. I get it. I don't go in and buying a car, but I do it because I want a car. But I understand that reputation, I'm going to get sold something. So that's tough.
Absolutely. I think it's the same in any industry, right? I was literally speaking to somebody this morning and totally off subject, right? But it'll make sense. He'd had an experience. He went to have a hypnotherapy session, and he'd gone to somebody before and it hadn't worked. Is it the hypnotherapy doesn't work, or was it the person that you went to? Is finding the right person. And this time was a completely different experience.
Wow.
It's the same with people going to see a chiropractor or an osteopath. It's not the industry itself, it's finding the right fit for you, which is again going back to, you have your own podcast. The beauty is people get to see you every week. They get to hear you every week. You build on that know and trust factor every single week, and you have a proven track record. So this is why I just believe in this platform, if you like, for getting the message out there. Because you can go to somebody's website and you might just see a professional headshot and a load of information about them. Doesn't mean anything. It's possibly been written by the top copywriter. It doesn't mean anything. Whereas for somebody like yourself, somebody can go back and listen to previous episodes, and there's just more to it. They're going to trust you more because you're showing up each week and sharing, and you quite clearly know your stuff. And I think that's such a powerful way for people to then come into your world, right? Because they feel like they know you.
Karen, yes, you're singing my like a song. So I think podcasts are the next websites. Like everyone, like when the internet emerged, everyone had to have a website, right? Because you got to be able to be searchable online. I think the new wave is everyone needs to have a podcast, because you're right. I can get so much more across in 30 minutes talking on my podcast than I can on my website, or that maybe someone wants to read through on my website. I think, and also with business owners, entrepreneurs, radio used to be a huge medium, then television, and now I think it's podcasts. And what's neat about podcasts is the barrier to entry is so much lower. You have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars still to be on the TV and radio, where you don't need to do that for a podcast. And I've got a great success story. I've got a client who I've got 360 episodes now, I think is what I'm up to. But I think when he became a client, let's say I was at 200 or whatever it was, before he came into my office, he said, I went back and I listened to every single episode of your podcast. And
wow.
So walking in my office, he already knew my stance on certain sectors of the market, or what I thought about annuities or whatever. He knew, if it's like we already knew each other. And it made the relationship that much stronger out of the gate. And that's what's been great with me in podcasts, is that new clients already have a sliver, or maybe a big slice, into who I am and what I believe in and what I do. And I think that's very important for anybody that's in business or offering a service or whatever. Like, if you feel passionate about what you do, get your message out there. What are you waiting on?
Totally get it. Because it's funny, isn't it? Like because everybody has his title. What would you say your title is? Wealth advisor? Would you name it anything differently?
Yeah, that's it. But it's confusing. But yeah, like wealth advisor. Sure.
Yeah. But until you do share what it is you do, like you've just shared, exactly, how you take your potential clients through the process. People, again, it's all about perception, isn't it? And the beauty of the podcast is by you being able to articulate what it is you do much better than somebody reading something on your website. And that really is the power of it. But you've also written a book. If the listeners are out there and they'd like to get a copy of this book, what is it called again and where can they find it?
Yes, thank you, Karen. Yeah, so it's called Retiring Right: Smart Steps for Exiting Corporate America. It's 150 action-packed pages, Karen, on retirement planning. It's out there. Amazon's probably the easiest way that most people know about. I've got paperback, hardback, and I actually went to New York City and recorded an audio version myself. So if you're a listener, there's an audio version that I recorded myself reading the book. So I'm real excited about it. It was a ton of fun to write and publish. And the whole point of it, again, is to enhance financial literacy. That's it. That's why I put it out there. I didn't like any of the books that I had read on retirement planning. So I decided to write my own because I wanted to just have a book to be able to send to people, say, hey, this is a good book, read this. But I didn't like what's out there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to write my own on what I think it should say. And that's what I did.
Fantastic. And the listeners, the one thing that you know about the listeners is that they consume podcasts. So what is your podcast name again?
Yeah, thank you again, Karen. Yeah, so it's Upticks. I do have a permanent guest. I love the fact that you bring on different guests. I've dabbled with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But I have a permanent guest. My business partner and the co-founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors, Corey Bittner, is on the show with me every week. And we switch it up from time to time. Right now, we're in a phase of talking about recent financial news and events. And then what's fun about it is sometimes we'll get in there and we'll debate it. And we're talking about how it's impacting people's bottom line. So we'll talk about recent events. We'll debate whether we like it or not, and then really why it matters to the listener. So that's been a lot of fun. It's out there on Spotify, Apple iTunes, YouTube. So it's all out there.
Fantastic. Awesome. And then finally, so if the listeners out there are like, have I got enough for retirement? What does that look like? What do I need to do? What should the listeners do next? How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, we should definitely meet. So I'm out there on social media. Actually, Instagram's probably where I'm most. So if you want to connect with me, it's just Jake_Falcon_CRPC. Send me a message called podcast, and then I'll know it's from Karen's podcast. And then we'll go through that message. You can also email me out there. I don't check my emails often, but it's Luke. It's not Luke. That's my communications. It's Jake at FalconWealthAdvisors.com. You can email me directly, but if you want to check me out on Instagram, I've got more content going out there all the time. And then we can set up a meeting, go through our process.
Fantastic. Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to somebody who, speaking my language. Love the fact that you're getting so much success from podcasting as well. That's awesome. To the listeners, I will be back next week with the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Podcast Profits Unleashed podcast. If you're